this squabbling over all the memes, all the kind of challenges that I said before us, and they want you to kind of fight with it. Take a position, take a stand.
Joy of the Lord must be and should be your strength. Yes, the joy of the Lord There's one Quran, and that one Quran says, do not set up sex with Islam. And you know, I've met Muslims who say the Quran is right. You should not have sex with Islam.
Told you, did you swallow all their lies, and did you never open up your eyes and see? I'm not on the level, but the water looks flat to me. I'm not on the level, flat as far as I can see. Yeah, as far as I can see. Did you ever ask the question why? Told you, did you swallow all their lies, or did you say, well, it just don't matter to me? I'm not on a level, but the water looks flat to me. I'm not on a level, the earth looks flat as far as I can see. Yeah, as far as I can see. Yeah, as far as I can see.
Hey mate, you got a beautiful camera there. Check that experiment for yourself. If you make a video of a star or a planet and then watch the video in slow motion afterwards with that beautiful lens, you'll see high quality, high definition. There's no distortion like they tell you the twinkles are. We're being lied to about where the stars are.
Why?
Well, first of all, we've got globe syndrome. We don't travel if we think we're going to come back to the same place. We can go eastbound, westbound, but no one's ever gone south to north, north to south.
No one's gone
No
north
one's
to
ever
south?
crossed the Antarctica. They've had us since NASA came out, an Antarctica treaty. They tell us they walk on the moon, yet if you test the temperature of water after half an hour, you'll see that moonlight chills it.
Okay.
And also you can make a video or a photo as far as you want at water level, and you'll never see any loss of landscape due to curvature. We're being lied to. 52 million a year. Sorry, a day. That's 40 billion a year.
Why are they lying to us?
52 million a day, 40 billion a year. Crazy. We're getting ripped off, and also we think we're lost in space and that we can't explore without them.
Okay.
Check it out. You've got a beautiful camera. You'll see that stars aren't 20 trillion miles away like they tell us.
Okay.
Thanks, bruv. Have a nice day. Thank you.
And who should be the author of such a book? It should be people who God has touched, people who've known His transformation in their lives.
Hello, can I give you a flyer, love? We're showing people how to check for themselves. Instead of believing what scientists tell us, which would be religious, we're starting to say, well, if we do the experiments for ourselves, we can prove we're being lied to. Moonlight chills water. It's a feminine energy. It's a negative polarity. It takes heat from the water within half an hour, and if you use a magnifying glass, it goes down even more in temperature. So it can't be a rock reflecting sunlight like we're being told. So Michael Jackson's the only moonwalker. They haven't been walking on that moon. They're taking all that money off us. 100 million of worldwide taxes a day. 40 billion a year that could go towards researching illnesses and ending world hunger and poverty. They're taking our money, girl. And check this out. If you make a video of a star and watch that video in slow motion, you'll see that stars aren't balls of gas burning fire. They're dead close. We can see high resolution with a modern camera in slow motion. They change pattern. They're beautiful. They're not what we're being told. They're not where we're being told. They ain't 20 trillion miles away. My camera ain't that strong. And no matter the distance, we never lose any islands or landscape along the coast behind or below curvature, no matter the distance. I took this photo in Spain, looking at Alicante, 20 miles away from where I am on Benidorm, and I see buildings that should be 80 metres below curvature. I see streetlights at night that shouldn't be there, they should be 80 metres below curvature. If you go to Blackpool, you can see the Isle of Man 100 miles away. It don't matter the distance. Math says that it's supposed to be a drop. It isn't. We're being lied to. I don't know if Earth's flat. If I started telling you Earth's flat, that would be a belief. That would be a religious belief. I prefer to say we know it isn't curving 8 inches per mile squared like it should do mathematically. So we know that we're not on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference. Could it be flat? Could it be fourth dimensional? That would be a religious debate. I don't want to have that debate with anybody. I'm just showing people that check how you see there's not the curve there should be. We're being lied to about dimensions, situation, and our relation to the feminine energy. We're in a big atmosphere. We've got a positive and a negative charge, electron, proton, and we're better off understanding that to be spiritually connected to each other and to where we are than thinking we're lost in space, irrelevant and insignificant.
That's so nice. Actually, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're special. We all are. Thank you so much. And please tell your friends and family how to check for themselves.
Yes.
Thank you, darling. Have a lovely day. Can I give you a flyer, bro? Would you like a flyer? You check for yourself. We're not mixing religious beliefs with science. We're saying that we should do the science, and then we know, instead of having beliefs, we will know that there's never any loss of landscape behind curvature at water level. So if Earth is 70% covered with level water, it can't be a ball. They're lying to us about where we live. They're telling us that stars and planets are really far away, but when we make a video and watch the video in slow motion, you see there's not that much distance. They're very close. They're not burning fire. They're beautiful geometric patterns, very quick. So you watch in slow motion. And when you make a measurement of the temperature drop of water after half an hour of being in the moonlight, you see that it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. They're lying about going to the moon, they're lying about what stars and planets are, and they're lying about where we live. They're hiding our creator by telling us we're in a Big Bang bullshit and that we're irrelevant and insignificant. We are in the center stage. Our creator is here and he is close, he is with us, and they don't want us to know that. So they give us all these lies and theories of gravity that aren't scientific, they're religious. And we need to scrap that religion and we need to do real science. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Jesus is the Messiah. He is the only living God. Invite him in today and your lives will be changed. Forever.
Thank you.
Forever.
We're showing people how to check for themselves. We only know that we're being lied to. We're not here to tell you what shape the earth is, because that would be preaching beliefs. We're telling you what it isn't. That's science. You can check with a thermometer and you'll see that moonlight chills water. Within half an hour, water goes down in temperature on a full moon compared to a glass of water left in the shade of the full moon. Both outside in the beautiful garden. Why does the moonlight chill water? It can't be a rock reflecting sunlight, because if it was a rock reflecting sunlight, the light would be slightly warm or neutral. But if it makes things go down in temperature, that means it's the opposite of the sun. Yin-yang, positive, negative, like we see in science, like we see in magnetism. There's a North Pole, South Pole, there's always dark and light. So we thinking whatever shape this Earth is, it's like a very big atom. Earth is the nucleus. We've got a proton that keeps us warm. We've got an electron that makes things cold. It's beautiful.
Hypnosis. You believe in hypnosis?
Yes.
Regressive hypnosis?
Oh yes. I believe that everyone can be hypnotized, and with subliminal messages, with symbols, with repetition. We focus on an idea and we believe the idea is our own. Take it, because if you do the science, you'll see that moonlight chills water. Stars aren't that far away when you make a video and watch the video in slow motion, and no matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind curvature.
Can I film your theory in a nutshell?
Yeah, sure.
So, then I can, so if I read this, I'll get it.
Yeah, sure.
Keep it short.
As short and beautiful. So there's 3 experiments that you can make for yourself. One is you look at the water level for loss of landscape below curvature. Mathematics states, and this is repeatable, check for yourselves, that over 20 miles is supposed to be 80 metres drop, yet where I live I can see buildings from top to bottom in the daytime, and I can see street lights along the beachfront at night time illuminated. So there isn't 80 metres drop like math says there should be. So that's evidence that you can verify for yourself and anyone that's watching, that there isn't the dimensions we're being told. If there was a ball of 25,000 miles in circumference, there would be 8 inches per mile squared. There isn't. We don't know. That would be preaching my beliefs. I'm not here to preach beliefs. I'm here to tell you how to verify the lies for yourself with primary observation. Knowledge is not beliefs. So once you've seen that there's no loss of landscape, no matter the distance, check 100 miles from Blackpool looking at the Isle of Man, or go to Spain and look at Ibiza 100 kilometres away. There's never any loss of landscape due to curvature, like the mathematics states there has to be. Also, stars are a lot closer than what we're being told, and moonlight chills water. Check for yourself. That's science.
Do you have any more?
Yeah. Thank you, mate. That's what we're saying. Check for yourself, because otherwise, believing scientists is a religious practice. Sure. Doing the experiments is science.
Trust but verify.
Thank you, my friend. Pleasure meeting you.
Have a great day.
You too. Check for yourselves. You'll see that moonlight chills water. There's no loss of landscape below curvature, no matter the distance. And stars, when you make a video and watch the video in slow motion, you see no distortion. They're not 20 trillion miles away.
I don't understand why they lie to us. Why?
Well, they want us to think we're lost in space without any reason to be good, without any creator. And if you believe in a creator, he's not very close because space is expanding. Yeah? Well, maybe that's not true. Maybe evolution, that we come from monkeys, isn't true. Maybe the Big Bang, evolution and the globe are not true. And we're being lied to, so like a donkey has blinders and we walk in the same direction that they want us to walk in, we believe what we think we have the freedom to choose from. We don't know there's more options. We don't know there's more to life than materialism, because they've told us everything's material from a Big Bang.
When we look in the Genesis, everything Genesis is right.
I'm not sure if it's Genesis is right or the Quran, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a flat Earth. It could be fourth dimensional. We're third dimensional, so maybe only God knows. Okay? The point is, they have us arguing as people about politics. They have us arguing about religious differences. Now they've got us arguing about science.
Yes.
And we shouldn't be arguing about science. We should check and verify, is it true or false? They have us arguing, is it flat or round? Maybe it's neither. Maybe it's neither. The big thing is, they don't want us to know we have connection to each other and Earth and our Creator. They don't want us to know that the 52 million that NASA takes every day, with all the other space agencies, that's got to be over 100 million a day, 40 billion a year of our tax money goes to the space agencies to show us Hollywood imagery. Disney. Yet they can put that money towards researching illness like cancer and AIDS and diabetes. They could put that money to end world hunger and poverty. That's a lot of money. Money and control, globalization, that's what they want. Thank you guys. Can I give you a flyer? We're telling, that's great open mind. We're telling people, rather than be religious about what scientists tell us, we should actually do the science ourselves. And then we know, So one of the experiments is that you can check at water level, whether it's a lake or preferably the ocean. No matter the distance you look, you will never lose landscape below curvature. So we could look out towards an island, or like the Isle of Man from Blackpool. There's supposed to be over 100 miles distance, 1,000 meters drop, but we can see the Isle of Man from Blackpool. We can see Ibiza from Spain. If I look from Benidorm, I can see Alicante 20 miles away in the day, and I can see street lights from Alicante beachfront illuminated. So I know there's not 80 meters drop like mathematics says there would have to be if we were on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference. So it's not that the math's wrong, it's that the math doesn't appear in the reality. We're being lied to about the dimensions. Is it flat? Is it flat? I don't know. That would be a belief. I'm not here to preach beliefs, that's religion. We're just showing how to do the science to reduce the false variables. When we know what it isn't, we're closer to knowing what it is. So maybe Earth is a fourth dimensional shape, and we're third dimensional, so only God would know, the Creator, yeah? So it's not worth arguing or debating as people when we should be talking about what is a fact. Space exploration is bullshit. They are lying to us. They take 100 million of worldwide taxes a day to give us Hollywood and Disney. Now, how do I know that? Because if the Big Bang was true, we wouldn't still see the same stars in the same position as the pyramids. Aquarius would have dropped some water. Orion's belt would have got bigger or smaller. Scorpio's claws would have twisted or moved. The Aztecs, the Mayan calendars, the Egyptian pyramids still all align in exactly the same position as what 10,000 years ago was written in stone. And they tell us it's because the stars are very far away. But if you make a video with a modern camera with a big lens and watch the video in slow motion, there is no distortion like they tell you when you look with your eye. Oh, that's distortion. You watch the video in slow motion and you see that stars are not balls of gas burning. They're beautiful lights that change pattern very fast. That's why you have to watch in slow motion. They change colour, size and shape very fast. They're not 25 trillion miles away. So we're being lied to about the dimensions of this nucleus, of this atmosphere, whatever it is, okay? It's here. We're in the middle. Our Creator's close. We're important. We're not lost in space. Stars aren't that far away. And moonlight is feminine. It's not a reflection of sunlight. Sun is hot. The moonlight chills water. Check for yourself with a glass of water, because that's scientific experiment. Leave the glass of water for half an hour under direct moonlight and it will drop 2 or 3 degrees in temperature. Check then with a magnifying glass and you'll see it go down even more in temperature. That proves it's not a reflection of a hot light, so we're being lied to about the moonwalk. Only Michael Jackson can do the moonwalk, guys. They're taking 100 million a day to give us Disney. Yet when we watch the weather of Britain or wherever you're from, you will never see your country from outer space. You will always see Disney. And the woman is saying, oh, the clouds this, the rain this. Where's the real-time recording from outer space? It's always Disney. There's no satellites in outer space, because if there was thousands of satellites out there, there'd be thousands of holes. So our atmosphere wouldn't stay contained. And if we'd been to the moon, then we'd need to catch back up with Earth. Earth's following the sun at 500,000 miles an hour. And it's orbiting the sun, supposedly, at 66,000 miles an hour. How do we get back from the moon if we don't have a rocket that goes as fast as Earth's orbit? Never mind the sun's orbit. We've been lied to, my friends. We could put that money towards much more important things, programming us with Hollywood and Disney. We could help end world hunger, we could research illnesses, and we shouldn't trust NASA, we shouldn't allow our governments to trust NASA to modify the weather with chemicals. I'm more worried about the chemicals we're breathing in from these aeroplanes, the toxic problems that we're going to have and illnesses. I'm not that worried about the temperature. They always have us arguing with each other about things that aren't important. Check for yourselves, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.
Bring the dollar and 666 and I.
They use symbols,
Yes.
repetition, and humour to program us. Yeah, they program us. They hypnotise us. Okay, they make us love them so that we trust them. No, it's fine. We trust people that we love. We trust people that make us laugh. We believe people that we think are smarter than us because they have bigger PhDs and degrees. I'm starting to trust my senses from scientific observations rather than believe in secondary information. No matter how big the television screen, no matter how big the company or how famous the scientist, if it doesn't match up with what I can see in my experience, then I've got to make a decision. Am I going to be religious?
You became the scientist.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm learning. Yeah. I'm still learning.
Proof of them, asking them
yeah, and I think we should all try to learn and experiment, because we shouldn't be told that we're not smart enough. We should say bullshit. Explain it to me. Prove it to me. Why did they tell you about gravity when you're 4 years old? Because you're too young to question and argue. They brainwash you at a young age with beliefs. Thanks, guys.
Gravity when I was very young.
Yeah, but it's never been proven.
I don't know whether they convince me or
it's never been proven. The only thing that we can prove is density. Vapor rises, condenses into a cloud, and raindrops. That's density. It's amazing time, my friends, and we should all be showing our friends and family how to look for themselves. So when there's enough people, we can stop the bullshit of the children. We can stop all the taxes going towards Hollywood to keep us fooled. We can put it towards research and illnesses and help end in poverty and stuff. And yeah, we're better off having our own imagination. Even if we don't know the truth, we're better off not believing lies. Thanks, guys.
You're from where?
Oh, I live in Spain. I'm just here on holiday.
Right.
Hi, mate. We're showing people how to check for the... Oh, go there so it doesn't upset us at all. We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're not asking people to believe us. We're not here to debate or preach beliefs, telling you that the Earth's flat, because I wouldn't know what shape the Earth is, mate. It could be a fourth dimensional shape and we're third dimensional. We might never know. They've got us arguing and debating about religion and politics, and now they've got us arguing about science, when we should stop believing what the scientists say, because that's religion, and just check for ourselves. At water level, you'll never lose any landscape behind curvature, no matter the distance. I've done this photo at 20 miles distance from Benidorm. It's supposed to be 80 metres drop. They're in. You can see buildings that are 30 metres tall from top to bottom in a day. You see the street lights along the beachfront of Alicante 20 miles away at night. So there ain't 80 metres drop there. And if you go to Blackpool, you can see the Isle of Man. It's supposed to be 1,000 metres a drop on 100 miles. There ain't there. So we're being lied to about the curvature, mate. I don't know what shape the Earth is, I just know that there ain't a curvature. So they're hiding land, they're hiding resources, maybe hiding aliens. We don't have to use their rockets, maybe we just need boats and aeroplanes to explore. Yeah, please do. And as well as checking the curvature, lack of curvature, you'll see that stars aren't that far away when you make a video and watch the video in slow motion. So there ain't no distortion like they tell us we see when you make a video. So that means they're lying to us about how far stars are and what stars are. And the last one is check with a thermometer and you'll see that moonlight chills water. So they ain't walked on no rock reflecting sunlight, because if it was reflecting sunlight it'd be warm or neutral. They're having us on, mate, for a lot of money and to make us like donkeys with blinders on. So we just go the way that they're telling us. We don't realise there's more options and things to think about. Thanks, bruv. Check it out. We're not sure if Earth's flat. We don't want to have that religious debate with anybody. We're showing people how to check for themselves with scientific method. You can see with a thermometer and a glass of water that moonlight chills. Now, if the moon was a rock reflecting sunlight, it wouldn't chill water. But it does. Check for yourself. In half an hour, water drops 2 to 3 degrees. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll drop even more. That's scientific evidence that it's not a reflection of hot sunlight, because it would be warm or neutral, but it actually chills. Check for yourself. Also, when you make a video of a star, and then watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not that far away. We're being lied to about what the stars are and where the stars are. Also, mathematics states that there's supposed to be a loss due to curvature after 10 miles. Yeah, I've made a photo 20 miles distance showing buildings in a day that should be 80 metres hidden below curvature. They're not. And I can see street lights along the beachfront 20 miles away. Street lights. They're about 12 metres off the ocean level. Now, that shouldn't be possible if there's 80 metres drop. Now, you can go to Blackpool and look at the Isle of Man 100 miles away. It's supposed to be 1,000 metres drop. We're being lied to. That's what we know. The dimensions aren't 25,000 miles in circumference. Is it flat or is it fourth dimensional? I don't know. I don't care. I just want people to know we're being lied to for 100 million a day, and to believe we're lost in space and irrelevant and insignificant when we're not. We're in the centre stage, we're important, and we're a lot more connected to each other and to our creator than what they want us to believe. And we've got the government's trust in NASA to spray chemicals in the sky to combat climate change. Please, I'm not worried about the temperature, I'm worried about the toxins we're breathing in. What are we talking about?
I'm worried about both.
You got me. Check it out, guys, and tell your friends and family how to check for themselves. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Right, your question was?
Where would they lie to?
Okay, I'm not the one lying, so I'm only supposing why they would lie. I'm going to theorise. This is scientifically verifiable. That's knowledge when you've had the personal experience of the scientific experiments. Now we'll theorise, we'll talk beliefs. I believe that they would lie to us because the people that control the governments, the shadow government, the people that pull the strings, they want globalisation. Yeah. So they make us believe we're on a ball so that we don't explore. We think we need rockets. We need rockets to go to the land that's, where aliens might be. Maybe we don't. Maybe we need a boat. Maybe we could get there in an aeroplane. They tell us that the Antarctica's on the bottom of a ball. No one's ever crossed the Antarctica. Not even Richard Branson or SpaceX. Come on. No one's ever crossed the Antarctica. How do we know it's on a ball? There's no curvature to prove that we're on a ball.
So like all the satellites that take pictures, do you think they're like lying?
I definitely do, because when you look at satellites, you think, well, if there's thousands of satellites, there should be thousands of holes. Why do we not lose our atmosphere? We'd lose the pressure container. Why do we never see our country in real time when we watch the weather report? We always see Disney, a cartoon. That's strange, isn't it? So I don't believe that satellites are out there, because all 98% of internet is transferred through subterranean fibre optic, and that's on Google and Wikipedia. So why would they need satellites? It's crazy, and how would satellites keep up with all these crazy speeds? We're supposed to be following the Earth at 500,000 miles an hour and orbiting, sun, and we're supposed to be orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour. We don't have a rocket that goes that fast, so how could we go to the moon or past Saturn or anywhere and get back to Earth? We don't have a rocket that goes as fast as what they're telling us we're travelling.
So do you think like the fake?
It's all fake. It's all fake. How do I know? I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. Thank you, darling. One, we never see any stars behind SpaceX or the International Space Station or NASA walking on the moon. We never see any stars. Two, we see the Earth as small when they're on it, but we see Earth big when they're further away. Come on. And why do we never see the clouds moving when we see the Earth spinning? Because it's Disney. If in half a rotation was 12 hours, you'd see all the clouds moving, but you never see the clouds moving because they forget things, they make mistakes. SpaceX, there's only been 55 people that have supposedly gone out of space. That's not that many people. So it's a few actors. And Red Bull say that they went 40 kilometers up. When you open the door, it's eye level. Now, when you go up, you're supposed to have to look down to find the horizon, but it's always eye level, even at 40 kilometers. When you go flying in an aeroplane, you look at the left window, the right window, it's always eye level. You should have to look down for it, but you don't. And when they show you the curve, not only is there never stars, but where's the ocean? Where's the ocean?
So you're not saying that it's flat?
I don't know if it's flat. I don't know if it's flat. Oh, sorry, mate, sorry.
Not from a preacher. I drink distilled water, by the way.
I don't know if Earth's flat. I don't know if Earth's flat. Thank you, by the way. I'm glad you got an open mind. And check for yourself. I don't know if Earth's flat. That would be a religious debate. I know that we're being lied to about the dimensions of Earth, because if we were on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, there'd be 8 inches of curvature per mile squared, but there isn't. You can check for yourself at water level looking at an island. I don't know what happened there. But this is more important. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. 40 billion a year of our worldwide taxes goes to Hollywood to keep us fooled. Yeah, we're being lied to. We know that there's no curvature at water level, so if Earth's 70% covered in level water, it can't be a ball. It could be 4th dimensional, we're 3rd dimensional, maybe only God knows. Maybe it is flat, I don't know. I'm not here to have a debate or argue with anybody. I'm showing people how to check for yourself. Keep another copy in case you lose one. No, please, because you've got friends and family. Show your friends and family how to check. There's no loss of landscape, islands, mountains along the coast below curvature. Stars, you can see them beautifully with a modern camera. You make a video and watch the video in slow motion. They're not 20 trillion miles away. That's bullshit. This Big Bang is bullshit to make you feel irrelevant and insignificant, to take you away from our creator. Yeah, the Big Bang is a religion. Science proves that stars aren't that far away, that moonlight chills water. You only need a thermometer. Check for yourselves. They're lying to us. They're telling us lies. Thank you. And show your friends and family how to check that for themselves. When there's enough of us, we can stop the waste of money and stop the manipulation of our beliefs. I have no idea. I'm on holiday, but someone will know. Most people are local. Thanks, bro.
Raise and ascend ourselves. So the Creator set up all of these challenges for us. We, collectively or individually, take the challenge, the mission impossible, if you like. We take that mission impossible on, or we not. We fail and we decide to stay again, or do. I don't know about reincarnation, but the point is that for some of us, we're meant to hear this knowledge, and we're meant to step away from the yin and the yang, the black and the white, the Muslim and the Christian, the Shia and the Sunni. We're meant to step away from all of that choosing. Manchester United over Liverpool. There's a lot about choosing, and all they want you to do is to choose Coke or Pepsi, black or white. All day long they want you to choose. And I'm saying that when you realize that this is a beautiful plane of existence, you're meant to find some middle harmony, some heart, earth, middle harmony place, and find a loving place that means that we can connect brother to sister, brother to brother, you know, and across the plane, rather than continue to find reasons to squabble, reasons to hate, reasons to stand on my brother's neck as I try and get a promotion, try and make more money, whatever. So there's a lot of things that are being done in the name of holding you back. They include poisoning our food supply, poisoning our water. I was talking about distilled water, poisoning the vaccines, making vaccines toxic. But went from when you're a very young age to deny you the truth. They even put fluoride in the water to stop your pineal gland from being able to connect to the Most High.
Can I give you a flyer, sir? We're showing people how to check for themselves. Instead of believing scientists, do the experiments and you'll know. That's the idea of science. You'll see that moonlight chills water within half an hour. You just leave a glass of water in your garden and check with a thermometer. It chills water. It shouldn't do, should it? But it does. Stars are supposed to be 20 trillion miles away, but if you do a video and watch the video in slow motion, you'll see they're not that far away. And we're supposed to believe that there's 8 inches per mile squared on a ball of 25,000 miles in circumference. Now, all the mathematicians agree on that calculation, but they don't find that in reality. Landscape is never hidden behind curvature, below curvature, no matter the distance. 20 miles is supposed to be 80 meters. It could be, or it could be a 4th dimensional shape, and we'll never know because we're 3rd dimensional, only the Creator knows. But they have us debating against each other, as always. When we should come together, yeah, I'll give you another. We should come together on what we can confirm. We know that's a lie, we're closer to the truth. Yeah, it could be, it could be. I know that water is flat. I don't know about the sides, I don't know about the top, I don't know about what's below us. So I say maybe 4th dimensional. We're better, all we know is we're being lied to. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.
Supposed to believe that there's 8 inches per mile squared of curvature in that, but everybody's common sense will tell them that. But winds on the beach 2 or 3 miles from you are at the same level. The tides may go up or down, but when we say water level, we also say sea level. And I ask you to think.
Can I tell you? I'll just quickly tell this guy. If you make a video with your beautiful camera, because it's got a big lens, I think. Yeah, it's got a lovely lens. Well, try doing a video for just like a minute, and then watch that video of a star in slow motion with as much zoom as possible, and you'll see that there's no distortion when it twinkles. There's actually high resolution definition, call it what you want, of geometric patterns. When you watch it in slow motion you can see them. When you don't watch it in slow motion it's too fast. But you'll see for yourself that they're not that far away, 20 trillion miles like we've been told. Also with a thermometer you can check that moonlight chills water in your garden compared to a glass of water that's left in the shade. And no matter the distance, you'll never lose landscape behind curvature. It's not that the math's wrong, it's that there is no curvature at water level, measurable anyway, no matter the distance. So we're being lied to about the dimensions, the situation, and the relation of the whatever the sun, moon, stars are, for a lot of money.
What do you mean by moonlight chills?
Well, you wouldn't expect it. If the moon was a rock reflecting sunlight, it would be a warm light or a neutral light, but it actually chills water. That's why you have to check it with a thermometer to make sure I'm not just bullshitting you.
No, but how do you know it's the moon that's doing it?
Because I've done the experiment twice, and I've left one glass in the shade outside, I've left another glass under the moonlight outside. I've checked the temperature before and after. This one remains the same, this one chills, proving that moonlight is a negative polarity. Does it provide a cold light, or does it retract cold? I don't know, but it's not a rock reflecting sunlight. So they're lying to us about the moon landing, which is a lot of money that we could be spending on research for illnesses, and also ending world hunger and poverty. A lot of money, 52 million a day. NASA is 100.
Then they didn't spend that money in the first place.
They've spent the money, just not on what we think they're spending it. Do you get it? It's an embezzlement, mate. Massive embezzlement, 60 years. The funny thing happened on the way to the moon, brilliant. And Capricorn 1.
What, the 69 thingy, escapade and stuff. And they get in the shape of the Earth through the window now, and the camera this far.
Yeah.
But they said they was pressed it against the window. So, then later on, you see someone put their arm in, and then the camera sort of pans away, and it just goes back.
There's enough evidence of bubbles, harnesses, it's all over. And if you go to NASA.com, you won't see, you see bubbles coming out of the helmet because they're underwater. That's why they practice scientists, they admit. Well, that's where they also fake some recordings. And harnesses as well, you can see them in loads of recordings, and you'll never see stars behind any of the planets or our supposed planet because of contrast. Well, come on, there should be stars sometimes. No, there's never stars. It's a load of crap.
You don't see stars now, though.
You see stars.
We've got clouds, but there's no clouds. There's no clouds in space, is there? So it's all studio. There's never any stars behind planets or Earth when you see them from outer space. And on NASA.com, they're called composite images. They're not called photographs. They say they can't take a photograph because it's too far away. So that means all the videos are fake too, which is why when you see them spinning, the clouds aren't moving because it's all Photoshop Disney. Which is why when you watch a weather report, you don't see Great Britain in real time ever. It's always a cartoon. We're being lied to. Check it out for yourself. Thank you. No, actually, do the experiment with the star because you've got the best camera I've seen since I've been in Britain.
Because they want to diminish you in the same
way. Lovely. Make a video of a star or a planet. If you see Venus in the morning sky or Mercury or Mars, you make a video and watch that video in slow motion with as much zoom as possible, and you'll see there's no distortion like we've been told that twinkles are distortion from the light refracting whatever from so big a distance. They're not that far away. Your camera's beautiful, but it can't see such quality 20 trillion miles away. So you'll see the quality and you'll know that the quality you're seeing in slow motion is not that far away because your camera can't see 20 trillion miles away with such detail, yet you will. And you'll see that stars aren't suns burning gases or anything either. They're like electric. You'll have to check it for yourself, as I say. Otherwise, it's just a belief in secondary information. Everything else is just to watch out for. There's 666 in every barcode. A lot of the logos have got hidden 666. It's to condition us. It's to hypnotise us. It's to make us accept things before and after they happen. It's to hide history from us. It's to keep us fanatics and idolising people.
These are all 9/11 things.
Yeah. Years before it happened. Coincidence? Or is it part of the magic spell, the hypnotism?
What's this bit explaining?
That they use mudras to hypnotise us. They have hypnotic powers on our consciousness. Certain poses, certain mudras of the hand.
Everything's moving.
And so do symbols. Symbols have like a hypnotic thing as well. Thanks, guys.
Well, I mean, go to its equilibrium. Where's that in a vacuum, an infinite vacuum? Where's the rest?
Nice one. Have you got a flyer, bro? Do you want one? You're okay, yeah?
Well, in relation to has to be to that tree. That cup is in relation to the so split the earth away from the sun.
If I may offer you just as a food for thought, because it took me a long time to work this out. First of all, I'm not trying to propone a model to you. I'm putting it to you, first of all, that the model that you have in your mind has never been demonstrated in reality. It's only a CGI.
Why make it up?
Now, we've already done, you're a bit late, my brother. We've already done the moon landings. I will come back round to that. But I'm telling you now that what we're on is like a layer cake system.
Would anyone like a flyer? You got one? Would you like a flyer, mate? You can check for yourself. It's science. You see moonlight chills water within half an hour. When you use a glass of water and a thermometer, you can check at water level. You'll never lose landscape behind curvature. And you can make a video of stars and you'll see they're not that far away when you watch the video in slow motion. We've been lied to about the distance.
You're telling me that, like, you can see the rest of the world.
There's a limit because of vapour and pollution in the atmosphere. But when you look up, you can see further.
If it wasn't for that, you could see everything.
Well, also, as you can notice, those buildings look pretty small. They're 20 miles away. You shouldn't see them at all. They should be 80 metres below curvature. But you can see the buildings in the day and the street lights along the beachfront at night. I live in Benidorm. You can check at Blackpool looking at the Isle of Man. It's obvious that there's not 8 inches per mile squared like there should be, mathematically speaking. So that means we're being lied to about the dimensions. There's no argument there. You can check for yourself. You make a video of stars, you'll see they're not 20 trillion miles away like we're told. There's no argument there. You check for yourself. And also you check the moonlight chill in water. It shouldn't do if it was really a rock.
You're being serious with us.
Check for yourself. Check for yourself. Moonlight wouldn't chill water if it was a rock reflecting sunlight, would it? It'd be warm or neutral. It chills water.
Chills water.
Yeah. If you use a magnifying glass, it chills it even more degrees. Check for yourself.
Why do you think it does that?
Because it's a negative polarity. So where the sun is a positive charge, like a proton, this is an electron.
So you do believe in electrons and protons? You do believe in some science?
I believe in science. That's why I'm recommending you check for yourself instead of holding beliefs in what scientists have told you, because that's religious. Science is checking for yourself.
So how do you know about the protons and neutrons then?
Because I believe that the yin-yang symbol, which is what the ancients were promoting, represents an atmosphere, a two-dimensional depiction of a fourth-dimensional Earth. That's my opinion. All I know is that moonlight chills water, there's no curve at water level measurable, and that stars aren't 20 trillion miles away. Check for yourself. That's it. It's dead easy. And that's science. Yes, it is. Making an observation, taking measurements, and then repetition, asking people to concur or to refute is science. That is scientific method. Yes, it is. You can keep saying it isn't, but we all know it is. Yeah.
Say all, which doesn't include me.
Why do you keep trying to change the arguments? Because you've got no points.
I've got no points.
Yeah, you've got nothing.
You think the science is math?
I think science is making an observation, taking measurements, and then someone repeating that observation and measurement to see if it's verifiable or refutable.
Science is scientific method.
That's what I've just explained. If you look in your Google now, you'll see scientific method is exactly what I've just said. Thank you. Really, really, thank you. Did you take a flyer already? I know. It'd be a waste of paper. It'd be a waste of paper. I'm sure you have. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You got an ego, huh?
No. We've all got egos. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's been lovely talking to you.
Is there any science that's true then, or is it all a lie?
Yes, a flame is hot. Everyone will verify about
it. There's lots of science in that phone.
Yeah, we're recommending people do the science.
No, but your phone, for example, is all the science bogus that makes that phone work?
No, we're saying that believing a scientist when it doesn't match up with what you observe in reality isn't science. That's religious blind faith. When you do the observations, that's science. If you don't do them because you want to maintain your beliefs in what scientists have told you, that's religion.
Okay, so
thank you. Do you want one? Thank you very much. Do you speak English? Where are you from?
Kuwait.
Kuwait. Okay, it was in case you were Spanish, I've got in Spanish. Check for yourself, moonlight chills water. You check at water level, there's never any loss of earth, buildings or trees, islands.
This is the proof that the moonwalking towards the force?
Yeah, because if moon was rock, it wouldn't give cold light. It wouldn't make water cold, but it does. Check for yourself with water and a thermometer on a full moon.
These are the facts that's not?
Because everything we believe that tell us, everything we believe from books, everything we believe that we see on television, that's secondary information. That's not science. I ask people to make first-hand observation. That's science. And when you make observation, you see moonlight cold, stars are very close when you make video and watch video in slow motion. And no matter the distance, when you're at water, there's never any loss of landscape below curvature. They lie.
What do you think about the black hole?
I think...
is it true or false?
I think everybody's got a black hole, you know what I mean? Even our atmosphere. There's a, if you think like this yin yang, yeah, this yin yang sign. Imagine this. Okay, four-dimensional. Yeah, you get me? So maybe we live in a negative, positive charge, and maybe like every magnet, there's a North Pole, South Pole. Okay? Beautiful, eh? Atom, atmosphere. You are a big atom. Nucleus, you have magnetic field, yeah? You are the same. So is our Earth. We have creator, intelligent design. Big Bang is big bullshit.
That's not enough for a believer. This is one. This is now the technology and that the technology. The technology in the 60s. The technology in the 60s. It was not enough.
It wasn't enough. It's true.
It was not enough.
Yeah. And if they lied to us then, why wouldn't they keep lying to us now? Huh? Why wouldn't they keep lying? Money, yeah?
You're talking about flat earth is flat is rubbish.
Hey, I don't think it's flat. I think it's more like fourth dimensional. We're three-dimensional, so only God knows. You feel me? They lie to us, they make us argue.
You want to talk science?
Yeah.
Science. If you believe in the science, flat is, do you believe in the gravity?
I believe in density as a law. I believe gravity is a theory. Am I wrong? Gravity is a theory, yes?
Yeah, but theory,
yes.
It means what?
It means it's an explanation of an observation, but it's not been manipulated, so it's not proof.
Only?
It's an equation.
Only observation?
It's a calculation that it measurements the speed that things drop, but it can't manipulate gravity, so that means you don't know what gravity is.
Hold on.
I'll answer you one more time. Gravity could be a force. I'm trying to. If you please let me finish. I'm trying. I'm giving you a long answer. I respect your question. Please respect my answer. So if gravity does exist, then it would be pulling things down. It doesn't pull things towards a centre because we're not on a ball. Because if we were on a ball, water wouldn't always be level no matter the distance. Because Earth's 70% covered with level water, so it can't be a ball. But check for yourselves at water level.
Do you know why? Because it doesn't answer the question. The question is...
Do me an experiment, sir. Hold these and drop them at the same time. Now, if everybody watches the bottom, you'll see that the bottom doesn't move. Let's just stop them bouncing. The bottom doesn't move until the top hits it. So where's the force pulling? It looks more like density pushing. Watch it, watch it. Let go.
Oh, they have the same weight?
Right, yeah.
Does it have the same weight? Does it have the same weight?
So one is metal and the other is plastic, yet they both perform the same observation. Where is the force pulling the bottom down? Where is the scientific evidence? There is none. You see what I mean? That push down, it didn't get pulled down. Smoke, steam, yeah, helium defies gravity. Where is the gravity for smoke? I know that rain drops after it's condensed. Density is measurable. Density is observable. Density is repeatable. Gravity is theoretical. That's why it's called the theory of gravity. And after all these years, if they can't prove something, maybe it's because the shit stinks. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
So if you take the apple and cut through the sitting on the table and you cut through it like that, then we would be on a plane. Because like when you go scuba diving,
common sense though, eh? It's common sense.
What is?
What he's talking, it's like we're just saying to people, check for yourself. That's science, like we were talking about before, yeah?
It's not though. I mean, you're misunderstanding what science is. Science is an observation.
I'm only winding you up. I'm only winding you up. I'm only winding you up. I'm just winding you up. I'm just winding you up. You do
a good job with it. You keep going my skin a little bit.
You keep your religious beliefs. It's okay.
Don't insist I have religious beliefs either, please.
Well, when you say that science doesn't involve mathematics,
which it doesn't. That's mathematics.
Science involves mathematics.
It doesn't need to. Scientific method doesn't involve...
I'm only playing with you. Let's agree to disagree, because I'm sure you got...
I mean, if you'd like to have a discussion, I'll have a discussion with you about it. If you'd like to have a discussion, I'll have a discussion.
No, I feel like there's many people that I need to tell to check for themselves, but I do appreciate the offer. Thank you.
The math and science, you're correct. You are absolutely correct.
I got you on camera. I'm correct. I'm correct.
With the mathematics.
I'm correct. Well, check for yourself.
Numbers, that's language.
Check for you.
So it's a number, it's a language.
So now check.
Like English, like Japanese.
So now.
I'm finished. Like English, like French, like Japanese, mathematics is a language. You can lie in English, you can lie in mathematics. Scientific theories
is checking if the mathematics exists in reality, but it doesn't. Check for yourself.
I've already checked myself.
No, you haven't got any evidence to show us that you checked for yourself. You're just claiming. I've got evidence. It's right there on that flyer.
Well, no, you haven't got any evidence.
I do. It's right there on that flyer. Look at that, everyone.
Yeah,
look at that.
Look
at that.
Evidence.
Yeah.
What's your claim?
I'm claiming that if there was 80 metres drop over 20 miles, we wouldn't see them buildings in the daytime, and we wouldn't see the streetlights along the beach from 20 miles away. Huh?
So what's the science in it?
Sorry, did you let me finish speaking? Did you understand what I said?
Yeah, absolutely understand.
Right, so if the math says that it should be 80 metres drop, but your scientific observation confirms that the
where's the natural phenomenon?
I'll try and say it to you again.
No.
When the mathematics states there should be 80 metres, but the scientific observation proves that there isn't.
Scientific observation?
Yeah, looking at buildings. I'll say. Let me say it to you again.
Can I respond to your point?
Let me finish speaking and then you can respond. Yeah, that's respectful as well of us both. So what I'm saying is, if I can see buildings in the daytime from top to bottom, and I can see street lights off the sea level 20 miles away, that proves that there isn't 80 metres, mate. Good. Awesome.
There's no science in it, though.
I'm so glad I got your agreement on that. Thank you.
I would agree with you about 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
About the science thing.
No, I thought I saw you winding up Roxanne. Was that possible?
Roxanne.
Okay, I must have mistaken you for someone else that comes along and just tries to argue about things for no reason.
I mean, if somebody's got a valid argument, you can just hear them out.
No, I thought I'd heard you out. I thought you were saying that I was wrong, but as you've said I'm right, then I understand that you were...
With the observation in terms of...
Exactly. Confirming the math is science, if you're observing.
Maths and science is science.
But they both overlap and intertwine.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
How?
I can't get into that one. It's
listen, they don't. Maths, science is only solely interested in observation of natural phenomena. The fact that you can see a coastline 30 or 60 miles away
or 100
is an observation. It's not a scientific observation.
But then when you check measurements, and you have to use mathematics to check the measurements.
Thank you. So I'm right.
So we're both right. We're both right.
But I'm just trying to say that.
Are we both right?
So I'm just trying to say it'd be a lot simpler and smoother, and you're not going to get into this conversation again if you just talk the science part of it.
No, but it is science.
It's mathematics, you just said yourself.
No, making the observation that I'm recommending people do, and then checking the mathematics is scientific method.
Oh my god!
The collaboration. There is three. I'm trying to get there. There's three parts of this, yeah? There's an observation of landscape that should be hidden.
Starts with an observation of a natural phenomenon. Where's the observation of natural phenomenon?
I'm trying to tell you. The observation of landscape that's supposed to be hidden behind curvature is repeatable and measurable with the distance, and also measurable with calculations, mathematically telling you how much curve there should be. So yes, mathematics and science together prove that there isn't any curvature at water level.
It doesn't need science.
Anyway, you check for yourself.
I have, lots of times.
Well, show me a photo of landscape hidden behind curvature.
I'm not going to, because there is no curvature.
Thank you. So why are we arguing? Debating.
Your term that you insert is science.
In your opinion, but if I look on Google, if I look on Google right now, it's observation, measurement, and repetition.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's making a hypothesis. It's making a hypothesis.
It's not making a
and then it's testing the variables.
It's having a hypothesis test. Yeah?
Anyway, I don't want to have this. I appreciate.
It's a natural observation.
Thank you for correcting my grammar. Thank you for correcting my grammar.
Water bubbling from a ground.
Thank you for
natural observation.
Thank you for correcting my grammar.
A natural phenomenon.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys got a flyer? Don't worry. Thank you.
You're spreading a lot of truth.
Thank you.
Thank you. With the science.
Thank you. I'll just tell these guys. Thank you for correcting my grammar. Okay, guys. If you check 3 experiments, then you will know the truth rather than believing what scientists tell you or what you see on television, because that's secondary information. I'm recommending first-hand primary observation. That's science, baby.
It's not science.
That's science. Anyway, science. But let's not have that now. Let's not be rude to these gentlemen. I'm asking people to check for themselves with a thermometer. You can measure the temperature drop of water. That's science. Because it's an observable and repeatable experiment that you should all try during the full moon or a week within the full moon, and you will see that water in the moonlight drops in temperature, where water in the shade doesn't drop in temperature. That proves that the moonlight is not a reflection of sunlight like we're being told. So it suggests it's not a rock, and that only Michael Jackson can do the moonwalk. Sorry, my friend. So I can't do the moonwalk. So yes, I've done it twice, and I recommend you try in case I'm lying, because NASA take 100 million with all the space agencies together a day. That's 40 billion a year of money that could help end world hunger, poverty, go towards researching illnesses. 100 million a day of our taxes go to this Hollywood crap to keep us fooled.
So what is this? What are you trying to explain? Like, what's the...
That moonlight chills water, right. That stars are not 20 trillion miles away, because you can make a video of the stars or planets, and then you watch the video in slow motion with loads of zoom. You'll see high definition, no distortion. There's not 25 trillion miles distance between us and the stars or more. It's a lie. They're a lot closer, and they're not what we're being told either. When you see in slow motion, you see geometric patterns. Yeah, that's not a ball of gas burning like they tell us. They've got us thinking we're lost in space. Yeah, but after 10,000 years, the Egyptian pyramids are still in line with Orion's belt. Come on. The constellations are still the same as the Aztecs and Mayans, built in stone 10,000 odd years ago. Come on. Big Bang, big bullshit. They say it's distance, but if you do the science, you'll see that there isn't that much distance, because your camera, my camera, your camera, his camera can't see 25 trillion miles away with such high resolution, but you will. So either your camera is amazing, or it's not that far away and we're being lied to about the situation, about the dimensions of where we live. We've got globe syndrome, so we don't travel past the Antarctica because we think we'll come back to the same place. Nobody's ever gone over the Antarctica, not even Richard Branson. I don't know if it's flat or fourth dimensional. Only God knows, my friend. That's not irrelevant. It's the point that they're lying to us. They're giving us beliefs of Big Bang, making us materialistic, telling us we're infinitely small in an infinitely big universe so that we don't feel special or have purpose. We've got no direction. We're lost in space. We're totally affected psychologically by this Big Bang bollocks. Yeah, we don't realise that we've got purpose. We've got a reason to be good. We've got a reason to look for ways to find our creator and ways to please our creator, because we're believing in everything's material from this materialistic Big Bang religious shit that we're fed when we're 4 years old, before we have a critical mind to question things and ask for evidence. Where's the evidence of gravity? Well, you could say there's drops. That's denser than the air it's in. That's a density experiment. Just like water vapour evaporates until it condenses in a cloud. When it's condensed, rain drops. So density is measurable, observable, repeatable. So is the scientific experiment of checking the moonlight, chilling water, looking at stars through your camera and making a video in slow motion, and no matter the distance at water level, there's never a loss of landscape. So Earth's face is flat, like the water's flat. I don't know about the top, the bottom, the sides, so it could be probably fourth dimensional, and we'll never know, or we won't know in this lifetime, I don't think. And that's why they've released information so that we're debating with each other about science. We shouldn't be debating about science. It's black and white. You check it, it's either yes or no. And that's what we're asking people to do. Check moonlight, you'll see it drops water temperature. Check water level, you'll never lose islands or landscape along the coastline curvature.
This whole flat earth thing,
Thanks, guys. They take a lot of money, they keep us with blinkers on, blinders.
No, he's not saying that the earth is flat, he's just saying it's not.
There's not any curvature, yet there's supposed to be 8 inches per mile squared. So after 20 miles, there's supposed to be 80 metres drop. Yet my photo shows buildings 20 miles away from Benidorm in a straight 20 mile as a crow flies.
So what are you saying?
Well, this is the beautiful thing. Not only do you see the buildings, you see street lights along the beachfront 20 miles away at night. So there ain't 80 metres drop, otherwise you wouldn't see the street lights, never mind the buildings. Now, when you make a video of a star, you can also make a video of a planet, and you'll see that ain't no rock floating around in space. It's a luminary. It's a wandering star. You zoom in on Mars with a beautiful camera, make a video and watch it in slow motion. You'll see high definition, changing patterns, geometric patterns, like it's above water firmament or something. All I know is it ain't no rock. And
so all the images that they're sitting down when they're doing all this.
Beautiful. Go on NASA.com, yeah, and check for yourselves. Under every image it says composite image, because they're not photos. They tell you they're not photos. So they say they can't make a photo of Earth because you have to be too far away. So my point is, all the video. Let me just finish speaking. I'll let you get your point in. So when you watch a video, please, just 1 second. So when you watch a video of Earth spinning, yeah, half a rotation's 12 hours now. Well, how come the clouds ain't changed in 12 hours? How come when you see Earth, there's never any stars behind it? The clouds don't move, there's no stars behind it. It's Hollywood, man, it's Hollywood. We're being programmed with this bullshit Disney. When you watch the weather report, you've never seen Great Britain in real time. You've never seen Great Britain from outer space. You're looking at cartoons. Disney. They're brainwashing us from 4 years old.
So what are you saying? You say it isn't, but what are you saying?
I'm saying we're being lied to. I don't know, I'm not lying to you.
You just say,
I can...
okay, I see. So you don't say... that make statements like it is
science. Let me answer you. Let me answer you. Science, yeah, is reducing the variables. So if I know that this is false, this is true, this could be true, this could be true, this is definitely false, this is true, this could be true. You reduce the variables, you get closer to the truth. So not knowing the truth doesn't mean that you can't deny what is false. If I know that there isn't 8 inches curvature at water level, that proves we're being lied to about the dimensions of Earth. Is it flat? Is it 4th dimensional? Or is it a heck of a lot bigger? I don't know, I don't care. They're lying to us.
That it's wrong. Science knows it's wrong. Physics knows it's wrong. There are 4 natural forces and physics can only explain 3 of them. Each theory only explains 3 of them, 3 different ones. And they are looking for this grand unifying theory, like what Stephen Hawking and
yeah.
are working on to have a theory that combines all the forces. Science also knows they are wrong, but looking for the best possible explanation.
But they're also ignoring. But they're also ignoring. There is. I will answer you. There is black and white. Because there is hot and cold, my friend. If I put a flame under your hand, nobody in the world will tell you that is cold. They will all agree it's hot. If I put your hand under water, or if I put this paper under water, we will observe the paper moisten and shred. We know that water is wet, we know that fire is hot, we know that ice is cold. There is black and white, there is dark, and there is light, and there is good, and there is bad.
Wet is just a human concept. I mean, when is it wet? Is an atom wet? I mean, these are all concepts helping to explain.
I'm saying that if something can be verified as right or wrong, true or false, that is knowledge. That is primary observation of scientific evidence. If something is theoretical, like these gentlemen like to believe in, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but that is religious. That is not science. That is not science. That is religious beliefs. Am I right or wrong? We're asking people to check the science and know that we're being lied to. We're not trying to tell you that Earth is flat because we don't know. We're telling you that it's not what we're being told, it's not where we're being told, and that the moon has a stronger relation to our atmosphere than we're being told. It is not a rock reflecting sunlight because it gives a cold light. Check for yourself. You sure? Because not checking is maintaining religious beliefs. Checking is science.
Why do you want to lie about it?
Because they take 100 million a day, 40 billion of worldwide taxes per day, 100 million, 40 billion a year. That's a lot of money. That money could go to the space agencies around the world, take the worldwide taxes of 40 billion a year. If you pay taxes, it's your money too. If you don't, then good luck. So my point is, that money could go supposedly, but it's actually going to Hollywood, and they're faking it for a few dollars, and they're keeping all that money that could go towards researching illnesses. It could go towards ending world hunger and poverty. Mate, if the moonlight's cold, it can't be a rock. Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you an interesting question.
Yeah.
You were saying something about belief.
Yes.
Am I right in thinking that you do not believe in the existence of gravity?
I don't know if it's just density and things ordering themselves in the density of the medium that they're contained in, and buoyancy, or if there is a force, yeah, which hasn't been measured, it hasn't been manipulated, so it isn't verifiable, it's a theory, that's why it's a theory of gravity. So I theorise that if there is a force, that it's pulling down, not in towards the middle.
Okay, that's fine. My main question though was just, what in your opinion do you think is responsible for making the sun and the moon orbit or rotate within the flat Earth?
In my opinion, it would be something biblical, like let there be light, or it would be something scientific, like the experiment called the star in a jar, where they put an air bubble in a vacuum, they put frequency, let there be light, and that creates a little universe. So I'm thinking that, like the yin-yang symbol, we are in a big clock, a big heart, we're in a big beautiful atmosphere.
No, but I've actually seen the video for that. But...
a big atom here, this atmosphere. The sun is the proton, the moon is the electron.
But you don't know that for a fact.
No, that's my theory. Okay, that's why there's historical evidence suggesting that the yin-yang symbol might have meant that. because there's positive and negative in all forms of life, and in every male even has a positive eye and a negative eye, a stronger eye, a weaker eye. Every hand can be magnetically north, magnetically south. We have a negative, and we have a positive in our nucleus, and we have chakras, which are the energy centers. Not planets, they're not hard, are they? They're energy. So I believe that the planets are energy chakras of our big atmosphere.
So like these guys, you two succumb to belief as well.
Oh, well, my knowledge is that we're being lied to because there's no curvature at water level. My knowledge is that we're being lied to. My beliefs are infinite now. I have a beautiful imagination of a child again because I'm not believing that dogma of scientism, which isn't verifiable. Did I give you one of these?
No.
Do you want one? It's got the experiments and it's got some other stuff that you can research and look into. All repeatable and like verifiable. Thank you so much, my friend. It's been a pleasure. Have you got one, my friend? Oh, don't worry, I didn't get you. Did you want a flyer? Sure, I'll just turn this. I can give you one to take with you. We're showing people how to do the science for themselves. You can check water after half an hour being under the moonlight. You'll see it's chilled. Thank you, my friend. And you can also check at water level, and you'll never see any loss below curvature of landscape, no matter the distance. And you can make a video of stars and watch that video from with slow motion, and you'll see they're not that far away. We're being lied to. You can check for yourself. It's very easy. Because that's religious to not do the science. That to say I don't want to check, I want to keep my beliefs, that's religion. Science is supposed to be checking. So there's your experiments. Moonlight chills water, check with a thermometer. It can't be a rock reflecting sunlight. Stars appear very beautiful with geometric patterns when you watch them in slow motion. Make a video of a star or a planet, you'll see they're not what we're being told or where we're being told. So the Big Bang is a load of bullshit to make us feel insignificant and irrelevant. But we're not in a Big Bang universe. We're in the centre stage. I don't know what shape Earth is, I just know that this is our universe. Our creator, whoever it is closer than what they want us to know, okay? So you check for yourselves, and there's never any loss of landscape below curvature. So is Earth flat, or is it a fourth dimensional shape? I don't know. Only God knows.
Could I say that,
yeah?
I mean, the Earth is flat according to the angle of the observer, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It depends on where you are to see the flat plane.
So we wouldn't see curvature, but if there was curvature, buildings, mountains, trees, street lights, I can see 20 miles away, they would be hidden below curvature.
Okay.
But they're not. No matter the distance, you will never lose anything below curvature. So you can check the math, you can check the distance, and you make the observation with your eyes and then your camera. And then you'll see on any day of the year, any month of the year, it doesn't matter where the light source is, that hologram is always perfect, no matter the distance.
If you're watching a boat,
it
seems like it disappears.
It seems, because of our perspective, things get smaller as they get further away. So as the waves of the ocean that are closer appear bigger than that boat that's so far away, we lose the bottom first, and we still see the top until it disappears into the horizon.
But still, the flat earth theory is something
It's a theory, which is why I don't want to argue about is it flat or is it fourth dimensional, or if it is a ball, then it's like 100 times bigger than what they're telling us, because there's no measurable curvature. So whatever it is, we're being lied to. They're hiding land, extra terrain, they're hiding aliens, extraterrestrials, they're hiding resources, my friend, telling us that everything's scarce.
To keep us on that box.
Oh, we need to keep the population down because there's not enough land, there's not enough resources. Thank you, my friend.
That's a lie.
Thank you.
And they know it.
Yes.
That's why they want to keep us in control.
Yeah.
Fighting for land and this and that. There's no need.
The best slaves are slaves that think they're free.
Yeah.
So if we've got this globe syndrome, we think that if we go to the Antarctica, we come back.
That's right.
So we don't go to the Antarctica. We think we're free, but we can't explore without their rockets.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're starting to say maybe there is more land, and we should look for it because we don't need their rockets.
Places like Antarctica, that's where they have alien bases.
Possibly. And where are the aliens?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not up there.
No,
maybe they're out there. Yeah, my friend. Extra terrain, extraterrestrials. Nice one, guys. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Have a great day. We appreciate that. Thank you.
How are you doing, brother?
Really good, man.
How
He's
you
got
going?
the flyer.
Nice to see you again.
He's got a very open mind.
Yeah, very open-minded fellow.
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah, this one for me was like the next after 9/11. Well, once you learn about monetary, what the monetary system is, what the religious system is all about, then you realise how the infiltration of religion into science is all about, and then you just basically start winning everything again.
You go to this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't want to touch this for a long time, but...
Check it for yourself. Science is supposed to be reproducible, and if we don't check for ourselves, then we're maintaining religious beliefs in what scientists tell us. Scientists that have got agendas because they get paid by people to promote certain things, don't they?
Yeah.
So apart from all the stuff they're telling us is safe, which common sense tells you probably isn't.
5G and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Plus, they're spraying chemicals in the sky, saying, yeah, geoengineering to combat climate change. We're not talking about the toxins that we're breathing in, we're talking about temperature change. It's nuts. Well, there's no curvature at water level, so maybe Earth's flat, maybe it's fourth dimensional, but it definitely ain't 25,000 miles in circumference. That's a lie.
Why do you think that? I don't know.
Because there's no loss of landscape below curvature, no matter the distance at water level.
In its entirety.
See the Isle of Man from Blackpool?
Sloped. It would be
hidden below it, behind it. Also, stars come into focus all at a similar zoom distance. You make a video and you watch that video in slow motion, you'll see there's no distortion like they told you the twinkles are. You watch it in slow motion, you'll see geometric patterns changing. It's beautiful. They're really close. They're not 25 trillion miles away. And moonlight chills water. Shouldn't do. If it was a rock reflecting sunlight, it should be warm or neutral. It chills water, mate. Check for yourself. You check for yourself.
Water. We know the properties of water. Water will always flow until it finds its outlet. Yeah. So across big ponds like Lake Victoria, there should be curvature.
So why are we told that there's a curvature? What is the...
I like to say globalization can be achieved by giving us globe syndrome. We don't travel because we think we need their rockets. We don't think that we think there's a scarcity of land and resources because we're told we're on a ball. Yeah. Maybe there's more land further out there.
Don't go looking because we've already found it all.
Yes, there's no need to travel. We've done everything. We come back to the same place.
And who do you think is furthering that agenda? I mean,
I guess the shadow governments, whoever pulls the strings, they've got us thinking that we're free. We don't realise there's more choices and there's more that we could have an imagination of our own. And they're also taking 40 billion a year of worldwide taxes to go to all the space agencies to pump out Hollywood imagery and Disney. Yet when you watch a weather report in real time, you'll never see Britain in real time. You'll always see Disney. Now they've always got a fit bird there, yeah? Distracting you from the fact that you're watching a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
Why have we never seen Great Britain from outer space?
Even the rockets, when they send them up, you see them when they go up, and they start to tilt off, and
like
they go flat.
Like a limp dick.
They say that is the Earth, the Coriolis effect of the Earth, like this. Apparently it's still going up, but we've turned away from it. Apparently. But in the end, the fact is that they go out into the Bermuda Triangle, they actually fly out into the Bermuda Triangle. Out to
suspicious,
right,
isn't it?
Cameras,
yeah. And how come we haven't got a rocket that goes as fast as Earth's orbit, yet we're supposed to have gone to the moon and got back in time?
The rocket itself is amazing, actually, because apparently it's like 17,000 miles an hour. I put guns and rifles. I know the quickest rifle I had is about 1,500 miles an hour.
So it's like 12 times.
A ray gun. What's a ray gun? 18,000, 2,250. They reckon that the rocket goes at like what, 8 to 10 times faster than a lump of metal. You know, as a capsule with people inside.
It's crazy. And like he says, how fast was it supposed to go?
17,500
okay,
miles an hour.
Here's the conundrum. If Earth is orbiting the Sun at 66,000 miles an hour, how did we get from the Moon back to Earth? Because we'd have to go faster than Earth's orbit to catch back up with Earth. How have we gone to Mars, or how can we go past Saturn and take an image?
The Coriolis effect. If you say, okay, maybe what does that mean? The Earth turning, axial rotation. So the Coriolis effect. So if you leave this reference plane, you're on the second reference plane. So the Earth is rotating underneath, i.e. when they say the rocket goes up, it does go up, but it's because we rotated around it. So they say that this Coriolis effect is a rotating.
Like when you flush your toilet in the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, it's supposedly different.
If you look at if you think, right, so if the Earth is rotating, we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Boeing flies at 500 miles an hour. How can the Boeing ever go? You go north or south, fine, but how can it go east or west and ever catch up or make ground on the rotating Earth at 1,000 miles an hour? Because every hour it's going to be 500 miles behind. So it's either going to go at 1,500 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Stay ahead of the Earth. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they can argue that the atmosphere is carried by gravity. And you say, well, if that was true, how come I can see smoke and steam defying gravity when it goes up? So if it defies gravity when it goes up, how can you say that it's spinning? How can you say it's spinning with Earth?
The main
like a ceiling fan's blades.
It's more so than even the science, is the politics. I'm interested in like why we have all been fed this mass delusion, and
so that we think there's a scarcity of resources and land, so they can depopulise us and get away with it because we think, yeah, there are too many of us. Yeah, we're a parasite because we're materialistic, because they've told us the Big Bang, everything's material. We don't have our own beliefs. We're not looking for truth and ways to connect with each other because we think that we're all expanding away from each other.
Admiral Byrd came back from his expedition, and he said we found a land that's bigger than the Central America. So for me,
past the Antarctica.
Yeah, beyond the pole.
Admiral Byrd.
He said beyond the pole in the 60s, or from the 50s to 60s.
Yeah.
He said that they were doing explorations down to the South Pole, and he said beyond the pole and the South Pole, beyond the pole and the South Pole, we found no land mass is bigger than Central America. So for me,
who is this admiral?
He's a very high-ranking war admiral.
This is all documented, by the way. It's all on Wikipedia's and Google's. You can check everything for yourself.
He came on national television and give a talk about what he found, and then quite quickly they had...
Can I give you a flyer?
What you guys are having here?
We're showing people that science shouldn't be about believing what scientists say. It should be checking for yourself. So please do. You'll see that no matter the distance, ocean, sea level, there's never any loss of landscape below curvature. Buildings, trees, mountains, islands, you never lose anything below curvature, no matter the distance. Yet math says you should after 10 miles, 20 kilometers. It's supposed to be a lot of drop,
so
but there isn't.
You say the Earth is not round?
It's definitely not a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, 40,000 kilometers in circumference. Because if it was, are you speaking inches or centimeters?
Centimeters.
I thought so. There should be 20 centimeters of curvature for every 1.6 kilometers you travel times the distance again. So you have to square the distance because it's supposed to come back. It's a curve, not a straight line. So the math isn't wrong. The theory is wrong. We're not on a ball, because if we were, we wouldn't see things after 20 miles in entirety, but we do. Also,
so you say the science is dragging us somewhere where we...
The scientific theories are becoming religious, because nobody's questioning them. Check this out. If you put a glass of water in your garden under the full moon, it'll drop in temperature, and you can compare it with another glass in the shade, and you'll see that this drops in temperature. Use a magnifying glass, it'll drop more in temperature. The moonlight is cold. Check for yourself. There's no loss of landscape or buildings or islands behind curvature, and stars are not 20 trillion miles away, 30 trillion kilometers away. If they were, we wouldn't be able to make videos of them with modern cameras and see them in high definition, high resolution. We can make a video and watch the video in slow motion. Planet or star, they're lying to us.
So what do you think the stars are?
I see a light, but I don't know what light is.
Right, so it's God.
It could be angels, angles of light, angels, I don't know. But the point is, so they're not what we're being told.
What you basically say is that science changed into the religion, and
when we don't check it,
not questions anymore.
Yeah, when we don't question science, it becomes a religion. And now all of the space agencies take all the space agencies together, take 100 million a day, 40 billion a year of worldwide tax goes to Hollywood to show us these images and videos of Earth spinning when the clouds aren't moving. Look at Earth spinning from outer space and you'll not see the clouds move. It's Hollywood, it's Disney. They take a lot of money that we could put towards helping people in illness.
So you basically, you're not giving the alternative, or you're not giving the answers to what the really science is.
I'm not saying
you're just questioning.
I'm saying what it isn't.
Yes.
So I'm using science to get rid of the false variables.
You use your sense to.
I use my personal experience applying scientific method to verify if something is true or false. Just like a flame, we know is hot. Ice is cold. Some things are scientific. Everything else is theoretical. It's a belief, a supposition.
And which method are you using?
Scientific method.
Scientific method.
Yeah, because what I'm doing is.
So you're using mathematics.
Yes, to check the mathematics.
Yeah.
We've got calculators.
But how do you know that mathematics isn't part of the lie?
Because we've asked.
Where is the border between the science?
I'll answer you. Science is using repetition. So when I've checked the calculations, I ask you to check the calculations. I ask one of them to check the calculations. If everybody gets the same results, that's repetition. It's true. So we've checked the mathematics with different calculations. Okay, we've checked all that. They all add up the same, but it doesn't happen in reality. We don't see anything hidden behind curvature. We are being lied to. That's all we know. Science shows us what's false, and we're left with less options of what could be true. So we might not know the truth, but we're getting closer by using scientific method and not losing all them 100 million a day of worldwide taxes.
Okay.
Thank you. Something to look into. You've got the experiments, now you can check for yourself.
Yeah, if you know, what should be the result? This huge money invested in today's science should be moved somewhere else, right? According to you.
Well, we shouldn't say invested in science, because the 100 million a day goes to NASA, which is Hollywood. That's not science. That's not science.
NASA is
let's put it to science.
Political instruments.
Let's put that 100 million a day to science that cures cancer. Yeah, I'm about putting money in science, real science, like fire is hot, ice is cold science, not theoretical, believe what you see on television science. That's not science, that's scientism, that's religion. Take the money out of the religion and put it into real science that helps people. Thanks, my friend. Pleasure. Nice to meet you. Can you just say that again? You studied and then went into the profession of was it landscape? Did you say? What was it?
Yeah. So I studied civil engineering, and after 4 years of studying civil engineering, I changed to architecture. And 8 years later, I'm a qualified practicing architect, and I have never ever factored into any curvature.
Nice.
And the study of architecture is the study of sort of that's how perspective works. How, you know, when you look down
focal
the street,
points, everything comes to the middle.
Yeah, exactly. The isometrics and everything in the draw. So it's an understanding of the perspective and vanishing point.
And you've also had work experience as a land surveyor. What do you call it?
Land surveying is part of civil engineering. Yeah,
brilliant.
Into any curvature.
Nice. Thank you for telling me that. I've got that on camera, because many people question me being able to talk about these things because I don't have the work experience or the education. But I've started saying to people, the only way to learn is to start somewhere, you know. So maybe I'm not going to pull out degrees because I'm not going to make it to university, but I can still learn from people that have been to university. I can learn from their studies, I can learn from my primary observations, and that's what we should all be doing. Instead of discouraging people to investigate because they haven't got the titles, I'm so happy that I've got this conversation with you. It's just people that don't listen to me, friends on Facebook and that, they might listen to what you've just said.
We have AOD, you know, AOD 0 at sea level.
Yeah.
It's the same AOD we work to as they work in France.
Nice.
They work in Spain, as they work in Wales, they work in Scotland.
Nice.
Yet they're geographically just on the ball.
Yeah, all the different
positions.
Exactly.
So
it's not viable. It's not scientific. It's
no. I mean, for us, for civil engineering projects where they connect different countries, then the AOD should be different, right?
Yeah, exactly. But there we go. We've got the evidence. We just need to inspire people to check for themselves.
But water, like levels, you know, water's always there. There is a level and a spirit level. You know, there's water and a bubble between the two lines.
Exactly.
You know, there's a level.
So
we have lasers. The laser, like any light, will
yeah,
split out. You know?
Especially because of the vapor in the air, water causes diffraction.
In the atmosphere.
And I'm saying to people, if we were really looking at mirages, that's, I think I tried to pull you on that earlier when I thought you were debating it, is that if it was a mirage, it wouldn't always be the same mirage, and it could go upside down, it could wave, and you know, the things would change in size depending where the light source is refracting from, you know. So you know, like I see buildings, they're always the same size. Now if the sun's behind me in the morning, they're that size. If the sun's in front of me behind these buildings in the afternoon, they're still the same size. So if we were talking about light refraction, then it would vary depending where the light was refracting from, but it doesn't. It's always the same imagery on the camera, it's always the same view that we get with our eyes. So I'm certain it's not that light refracts and we see a hologram. It's like you said, it's not upside down.
Well, if curvature exists instead of the beach here, looking out to sea, and at 2.9 miles, that is the point of that is the horizon of 5 foot curving. So 2.9 miles to this paper is here. So that means that 2.9 miles is not to that point, it's to here. See?
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
See, if we declare that it's bending there, then we should also look around and see.
Exactly, exactly. Especially when we go high up in an aeroplane or we see Red Bull going up, it's ridiculous. All the evidence shows that there's no curvature. It's getting people to look for themselves. Like
Red Bull one's quite funny.
It's heavy, that is.
You see the pictures of the what's it called, Zeroff?
Yeah, yeah, and you can see it's been doctored over the door. Yeah, yeah.
And then the vessel is also curved, and then the inside one is not a fisheye or wide angle.
Exactly.
Fixed lens.
Sometimes I wonder, how do they make such silly mistakes? Because we're spotting things left, right and centre now, and I'm thinking,
on that budget?
Yeah, yeah. It's like they could do a better job for that budget that they're getting, at least.
Is it telling that they can't send it to specialists and say, can you look for bubbles on this, or can you look for flies flying?
Yeah, because more people are in on it then. Yeah, you're right. I've got to keep it a closed circuit, a small circuit.
Maybe a little old-fashioned in that way.
I sometimes wonder if they want us to learn it, but they want us to debate about it between ourselves. Because we're going to find out eventually, so they're kind of leaking it bit by bit. I don't know, it's just so strange that we can see the harnesses and some people aren't taking any notice of it. Is it like, is that part of the hypnotism, or is it being leaked so obvious that people just can't swallow the pride?
It's also cherry picking of information.
Yeah.
They pick that, and when they're shown this, they're like, oh, it doesn't fit with my world beliefs. So
exactly.
I'm just going to ignore that for now, and I'm going to cherry pick on something else.
Exactly. Excuse me a sec. Can I give you a flyer, guys? We're asking people to check for themselves rather than believe scientists, which is religious. We're saying check the science yourself. All you need is a thermometer, and you'll see that no matter what day you do it, as long as it's a full moon or within a week after, moonlight will chill water. Check with a thermometer. Well, no, because if you leave 2 glasses in the garden, one in the shade of the moonlight outside, one in the direct moonlight, you'll see that the one in the shade doesn't change temperature while the one in the moonlight does. And if you use a magnifying glass, it'll go down even more in temperature. So science is proving that it isn't a rock reflecting sunlight. Because if a rock reflecting sunlight gave cold light, that means we don't understand what light is, or we just don't understand what the moon is. It can't be a rock, otherwise the light would be warm or neutral. Surely that makes sense. Second, you make a video of stars and then watch that video in slow motion, and you'll see now with the modern cameras with the big lenses, there's high resolution. The stars are changing shape, like geometric patterns, very fast. That's why you have to watch it in slow motion, and you'll see that they're not 20 trillion miles away like we're being told. So science proves that moonlight chills.
How does that prove they're not that far away?
Because I haven't got a camera that can see 20 trillion miles away with such high resolution. Okay, they tell you it's distortion, yet when you watch in slow motion, you'll see the stars very, very clearly. That would be distortion. That would be distortion. Distortion means.
Motivation for
I'll answer that one right after. That's a good one. Distortion, my friend, is when there's missing parts of an image, when there's blurry images, when there's discoloration or cracks. There is no cracks, distortion or blurriness. When you make a video, you will see for yourself. They're not 20 trillion miles away. Moonlight chills with a thermometer, check for yourself. And no matter the... It's very good, they should all interest you. Because at water level, you can check that there's never any loss to curvature. Landscape's never hidden behind curvature, no matter the distance. Not in Spain, looking at Alicante or Ibiza. Not at Blackpool looking at the Isle of Man. Math says you shouldn't be able to see things after 10-20 miles at water level, but you can. Check for yourselves the math and then check the observation. Now, why would they lie?
But the buildings aren't the same height as the water.
I'll say it to you again. At 20 miles, I'll make sure you understand what I'm saying. 20 miles away, I can see buildings from top to bottom that are supposed to be 80 metres below the horizon. There's supposed to be 80 metres of curvature. So if I can see 30-metre buildings and 40-metre buildings from top to bottom in the daytime, and I can see street lights along the beachfront of Alicante 20 miles away at night, that proves there's not 80... Well, I live there. I'm saying you can check at Blackpool looking at the Isle of Man, or you can check in Spain looking at Ibiza, you can look anywhere along the coast. Yeah, Cali and Dover. You will never lose landscape below curvature, behind curvature, which means if water's level, it could be. I'm not here to preach beliefs and debate religion. I'm here to show people how to check we're using scientific method. I'm going to get to that question, don't you worry. Because this is the point. If we're believing what we're being told and what we see on television, that's secondary information, that's religious. You do the science. You do the science, mate, and you'll see that math says there's supposed to be so much drop on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference. It's all good on paper, but it ain't real in reality. It's not there. It's not observational. Now, you were asking why would they lie? If we think we're on a ball floating around the Milky Way, lost without any cause, without any direction, we're going to be materialistic. We're going to be like that donkey, believing what they've given us a border to believe in. We're going to think that everything's material. We're going to be materialistic. We're going to be like that donkey, easy to guide. They just drop things in front of us. Oh, you want this? You want that? Yeah, I do. Now, also, they can take our money.
If it's a ball and everything that we can ever have is just on a ball, then there's a scarcity there, isn't there?
Globe syndrome, you're not going to explore, are you? Or is it a fourth dimensional shape? I don't know, I'm not here to debate that. I'm just saying there isn't 8 inches per mile squared of curvature. Like I say, if we think we're free, then we're never going to rebel. So the best slaves are slaves that think they're free. So we're not going to explore because we think that we come back to the same place. No, we're not. You're not allowed to go to the Antarctica unsupervised without a guided, arranged tour by the United Nations, which made the
the reason you're not allowed to go there is because you'll probably die.
Of all the rich people like Richard Branson,
who went to the Antarctic from Glasgow Uni.
But he's not crossed it, has he?
No, he went to the South Pole.
Yes, with a guided tour. The United.
No. He did a one-man solo expedition.
But I'm sorry, sir. Yeah, let's Google this right now. No one's ever shown video footage crossing Antarctica. Not SpaceX, not Richard Branson. Now, there's an Antarctic treaty since 1952 or 59 that says that all the United Nations countries will respect not going to the Antarctica and doing exploration. Yeah. It's not allowed. Okay? That's a treaty that's lasted nearly 60 years, even though we've been to Cold Wars and stuff. Like I was trying to answer his question. Yeah, thanks. Globalization is achieved by globe syndrome. We won't explore because we think we come back to the same place.
We're not exploring space. We're not exploring.
No, we're not. We're trusting them to explore space. It's secondary information. You're being programmed by television to believe in Disney. Yeah, you've never seen a weather report in real time, have you? You've never seen Great Britain from outer space. You only see cartoons from Disney. You only see Disney, yet you believe it because you've been programmed from 4 years old to believe in all this stuff.
If you're not curious, do you want to train to be an astronaut and see for yourself? Yeah.
Right.
You've not seen either.
I've seen that there's not 8 in... Everyone can do science.
How can you have a vacuum next to a pressurized system?
Yeah. Thousands of satellites.
Yeah.
Gravity. Water vapour defies gravity until it condenses and rain drops. So how are you going to tell me that water vapour respects gravity? What are you talking about? Helium doesn't respect gravity, does it? Smoke don't respect gravity. It's density. You don't float because you're denser than the medium you're in. Yeah?
So which one are you...
Thank you. So there's no need for gravity unless you're on a ball. Well, we can't be on a ball if water's always level. Check for yourself at water level. If water's level and Earth's 70% water, then it can't be a ball. If it's 70% covered in level water, how can we be on a ball, mate? Check for yourself. I'm not asking you to believe me. You'll see that moonlight chills, never any loss below behind curvature of landscape, islands or along the coast, and stars are closer than we're being told. That's science, mate. And if you don't check for yourself, you're maintaining blind faith in religious secondary information.
I don't believe in religion either.
Good lad. Now, you guys can see them in the sky, yeah? We were told that they were condensation trails for the last few years, yet now Harvard University and the Spanish government are telling you that they're doing geoengineering because they trust NASA to spray these chemicals to combat climate change. Should we not worry less about the temperature change and worry more about the toxins that we're breathing in? These same guys take...
It's a separate issue, though.
It's not a separate issue because the guys we trust with our 100 million a day, 40 billion a year, yeah, that give us this bloody propaganda on television to believe in. When you watch the Earth spinning, you won't see the clouds moving because it's a cartoon. When you watch a weather report, you'll only see cartoons. Right? It's 100 million a day that could research illnesses and help end world hunger. Also, they're promoting GMOs are safe. They're promoting that vaccines have got no dangerous ingredients in when we know there's lots of ingredients that don't need to be in there. They're telling us there's no danger to microwaves and all this bombardment of invisible radiation, but we understand secondary smoke's bad for us. And the same guys are spraying chemicals. They're all related because they're
the same thing.
Because we know that there's health risks and side effects to everything. So if we've got microwaves bombarding our electromagnetic currents, we're not going to be healthy, are we?
Are you a doctor as well?
I've done another experiment, just like you claim you can't because you're not a scientist. I debate that you should do science because we can all be scientists.
We should all be
so get a glass of water and microwave it. When that microwave makes that water hot, you say, right, I won't boil it, let's just let it cold, let it cool. Now that water's cool, you go and water a plant. Because you can do science. And after 2 to 3 weeks, you'll see that plant that you keep watering with microwaved water that's gone cold will die. So microwaves disrupt the chemical structure and the nutrition of what we eat. So microwaves disrupt our resonance, our natural resonance. And there's lots of people that are dying and lots of people that are making testimonials saying, I've got cancer and it's because of this tower that I live next to. Look at the microwaves that I'm receiving on this device that measures radiation. There's so much scientific evidence proving that microwaves are not safe. But because we're being programmed by the television and the people we idolise that also tell us that chemicals in the sky are safe and that they've been to space, if we can prove they're lying about this stuff, maybe we shouldn't be so faithful in the other stuff. Does anything I'm saying sound illogical?
I don't understand that.
But we do.
We all have to be.
Yes, and we're told that Big Bang is pretty much proven. We're told that evolution is proven, yet they're all theoretical. Thank you. They're all theories to keep us on this globe syndrome, so everything makes sense. But when you know that that's a lie, everything else is out the window.
If there's not a globe,
it could be flat or fourth dimensional.
What does that mean?
Well, you're third dimensional, yeah? Look at a fourth dimensional cube. We can't depict it, we can only interpret what it might be like. So if Earth's a fourth dimensional shape, then only the creator would know. I don't know. I'm not trying to preach beliefs. I don't want to debate if it's fourth dimensional or flat. I'm just telling you, if you check for yourself, you see there isn't 8 inches of curvature per mile squared, like math says there should be. If you breathe that shit in long enough, you will get ill. That's science, yeah? It's common sense as well, isn't it? It's not fresh air, is it? Your lungs are made to breathe in fresh air, not toxins.
And smoke is not the same thing. We're living in cities, yes, the air is unclean, but these waves are everywhere.
Yeah, but the less your body has to deal with, the longer your life will be and the healthier your life will be. Surely everything I'm saying makes sense to you. I haven't said anything that isn't scientifically verifiable. I'm not debating beliefs.
It's all science.
Check for yourself. Check for yourself.
All theories and experiments we'd have to do ourselves.
But
I don't believe in this.
Some things aren't theoretical. When you burn your hand with a flame, you know it's hot. That's not theoretical. That's scientific evidence. That's not.
It's like that's.
So fire isn't hot.
No,
so fire isn't hot.
Yeah, no, fire is hot.
Thank you.
Because you measure it with a thermometer. The fact that you feel pain does not mean it is hot. There's lots of other things that create a burning sensation.
Right, but you're changing my argument. No, excuse me. You're spinning my argument. I said that some things are verifiable. Fire is hot. Fire is hot, my friend. We agree on that. So why are you trying to change the debate? Fire is hot. You use a thermometer. You use a thermometer, and I'll use another device, and we both concur that I'm right. So why are you trying to spin the argument?
That was hot. You touch the can, that's fucking freezing.
But what deep heat make?
So what are we disagreeing on? I'm saying that some. So I'm saying that some things are verifiable.
Oh, it feels hot.
So what is he disagreeing with? Fire is hot. That is verifiable.
He's disagreeing with the process. He was disagreeing with the argument.
But that's a distraction. I'm talking about you guys checking stuff for yourself.
I love how you're filming this all on your scientific device you've got.
You're laughing and ridiculing people that are asking you to check for yourself. That isn't scientific, is it? You're debating someone, you're debating me about is fire hot because I said you could burn your hand and feel it's hot. You want to use a thermometer.
You're trying to challenge what I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing that a thermometer is more accurate, but you can still see that fire is hot with touch. Your 5 senses, which you are given to use to judge things, not just to believe in what you're told and secondary information and secondary equipment like thermometers. You can check that the thermometer's right by checking with your touch. So we aren't on a different page. Check for yourself. Use the scientific method and try not to be so smug because that isn't scientific. You're supposing we're wrong without verifying with experience. That's not scientific. I'm not being rude.
No, you're not.
I'm trying to make you see how your attitude is a programmed response because we've all seen the flat earth with water falling off. That's called negative priming. Now if I say, oh, he's farted, the dirty bastard, because he's just eating them bloody chicken wings or whatever, yeah? Everyone's going to believe me because I've complained. I could be the one that's farted. It's called negative priming. So they put shit in our mind with repetition, subliminals, and mass.
Science psychology, I don't think it's quite like that, but...
Yeah.
You see where I'm going? If enough people believe a lie, then we get proud to defend it and we argue between ourselves. When all I'm saying is, check for yourself. Check for yourself. I'm not asking you to believe me. Thank you, guys.
Who's the first person that proved the Earth wasn't flat?
That would be secondary information. I'm asking you to check. I'm asking you to check. That would be his story. His story is secondary information. I'm asking you to get some primary observation of first-hand experience.
Observation does not dictate reality or what's going on.
It does. It's called a scientific method.
That's scientific method.
Observation is not a scientific
when
method.
you use measurements and repetition,
you need to. But if you want to see what cause and effect is, you need to disprove what are the other possible causes.
Yeah, we've disproved that there's not. We've disproved 8 inches per mile squared, so we're closer to the truth.
Later, but yeah,
no, check the math and check with a mathematician. Go an online calculator.
We'll go and start right now.
Check for yourselves. Check for yourselves before assuming we're wrong.
Okay, we'll do some pre-dinner science.
There's 3 experiments, they're easy.
Just to understand what the mind controlling aspect of it all is reference to.
Do you know what you probably don't believe in these religions behind us?
No, definitely not.
Okay, so but you can accept then that they must be a mind
if someone can prove it to me.
No, but check what he's going to say.
They must be an incredible mind control tool. If you don't believe in them, they're controlling all of billions and billions
so
of people.
So what's believing scientists?
Religions are a result of power struggle where they could control people,
yeah?
But science is not that.
Ah, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But when we believe Neil deGrasse Tyson and Brian Cox without verifying with personal observation of our own, that's fucking religious, guys. That's not science. That's believing.
If someone disproves them, then that becomes the new accepted.
We're not asking you to believe other people.
It's constantly revising itself.
Yeah, we'll do it then. So revise. We're asking you to revise the theories by checking with primary observation.
I'm agreeing you're right to challenge it. Don't get me wrong.
No, we're not challenging it. We're asking you to challenge it. We're asking you, sir. We're asking you to verify with the simple scientific method.
The knowledge and the power to challenge these things correctly.
Well, we've just equipped you. We've told you that Moonlight Chills use the thermometer if you don't trust your own finger.
Yeah,
it rolls.
Yeah, it rolls. How can it be spinning at the same time as us? We always see the moon. We always see the same side. yet we see it rotate as well.
Is there a dark side of the moon? A new moon, the moon you should be able to go around the back of it, and the sun should be fully glaring on the back of the moon. There should be no dark side of the moon. What if the moon is just a disc and you can't go around the back?
Because the sun's here, we're here, and the moon's...
No, remember at eclipse, at a new moon, the reason there's a new moon is because the moon is traveling in front of the sun. That's what we're told. That means that you should be able to go around the back of the sun, the moon, and see the sun shining on the moon.
Why?
Well, because it's in front of that light, that massive light that's 400 times bigger. Why? Well, this is what makes sense. It's a rock in space, and that rock is 400 times closer than the sun and 400 times smaller. So
what's the chances?
It travels in front of the sun, and we get a new moon. Now, for 10 hours on either side of that new moon, we can't see
40 times smaller than the sun.
They are. They are.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
The moon is far more than 400 times smaller. The Earth's about 1 million times smaller than the sun. Therefore, and the moon's about the size of Australia.
We've been looking at this for 2 years,
the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun.
You're gonna regret saying that on camera. It is supposedly.
I'm sure your fans will love that I said that, but
it's where we've done research and we've made our own observations, and you're trying to remember what you were indoctrinated with. We've all been indoctrinated, my friend. I'm not trying to insult you. We've all been indoctrinated. We've all been indoctrinated, and we're saying check for yourselves, and then you'll know if it's indoctrination or real education.
I don't think anyone's ever said the moon's 400
They
times
have, and it sounds so pathetic that because you don't remember, you're like, no, that can't be true. Well, it can't be true. It can't be true. They're telling you not to trust your eyes, even though you see them the same size. They're saying, no, that's 400 times smaller, 400 times closer. Tell them that. Tell them that, because they're telling us the distance to all these planets and stars that they haven't been to. So their observations are fucking theoretical, okay? So we're not arguing with you, mate. We're saying, yes, observations should be measured and then repeated. And if he gets the same results and same measurements and he does, that's scientifically verifiable.
No, is it?
So the sun apparently is 700,000 kilometers in radius, and the moon allegedly is 1,700 kilometers in radius. So that's 1,700 divided by 700.
Architects, you might be able to verify this better. Is it saying 700,000?
He's not an architect. 700,000 divided by 1,700 is 402.
You're using the radius to define the size of a sphere.
Here, architect.
To verify that the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun.
Well, you think a sphere doesn't have a radius?
No,
there you go. There you go.
But then the radius is only one component of what actually makes up the size of it.
So let's say circumference then.
There you go. We've checked our math, mate.
Okay, cool, let's see. I mean, I'm not a mathematician, so
but you're very comfortable making assumptions.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a factor.
Yeah.
So here we go.
400 times smaller than the sun.
How many equations do you need that all add up to the same assumption that is 8 inches per mile squared? We've got all different calculations. There's supposed to be 8 inches of curvature for each mile you travel. Now we're told that Earth. If you would like, sir, I'll tell you that there's supposed to be 20 centimeters for every 1.6 kilometers you travel times itself. Times the distance by itself. At water level. Now, if you go up from water level, there's more components to the equation. But supposing you're at water level, like my photo, like I recommend people make the observation for themselves, you'll never see anything lost behind curvature, yet math says there's supposed to be loads. They tell us we're on a pear, yet they show us a fucking perfect sphere. Yeah?
Oh yeah, images are never accurate.
And they're called images. Go on NASA.com, go on NASA.com, and they tell you that they're not photos, they tell you they're composite images. Go on NASA.com.
They always are, and like atlases, they're never accurate in terms of the stretch and the curvature of the
Earth.
Earth.
The pictures of Earth and all the they're composite images.
Okay.
Why can't they take a photo of Earth?
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe because it's a load of shit, mate. That's what we're saying. Join the dots. If it's round, then it's a lot bigger than what they're telling us. The point is we're being lied to. Well, then we're still being lied to, aren't we? We're still having...
Why?
Think about it. They tell you there's so many... Well, we keep telling you they're nicking money and they're controlling your thoughts and your decisions and your beliefs by guiding you in this fucking science. science, it is actually religious nonsense. And the second...
Science is not religion, please.
It is.
It's offensive on so many levels to
Scientism is religious. And what we're doing nowadays is believing scientists instead of checking for ourselves. That's religious.
No, I'm a vet. I do evidence-based medicine, okay? I don't believe things for the sake of believing them, okay? We are taught how to critique, how to analyze things, how to do all these things, okay? Yeah. Now, one individual observation is not scientific in the slightest.
There's three.
3 scientific observations are not scientific in the slightest.
I'm sorry, but we're talking about primary. Can I just say one thing quickly? Can I just say one thing quickly? One thing quickly. What you just said, yeah, think about it. 3 scientific observations isn't scientific.
No, they're not scientific observations.
Hold on, let me answer you. These are 3 scientific observations against what? What have you got to say that this is wrong? You've only got videos and imagery from fucking NASA.com, which says it's composite images. You can't go to space.
I've got nothing to gain from saying this is wrong.
No, but
I'm just interested in your sort of.
Have you been a poor country? Have you ever been a poor country and seen people? Me too. And isn't it painful to see poverty nowadays? Right. So they're taking 100 million a day. They're taking 100 million a day.
Okay.
Why do I care? Because they're taking 100 million a day.
Where companies your phone from? How much did you pay for that? What corporate did you
I got as cheap a phone as I could, so I could spend more money on travelling. This is 200 euros, and it's got a camera. And you're judging me as a person when I'm asking you to judge the evidence. I'm asking you to judge the evidence.
You're trying to tug at my heartstrings here by saying, well, look at these poverty situations where I've actively gone out and helped in those situations.
Yeah, and I have it too.
But you're using some flawed basis that you're trying to sort of define.
Are you disagreeing?
Some indoctrinated mind control here.
If the scientific observations conflict with the scientific theories that we're told to believe,
but these aren't scientific observations. They're observations, okay?
Sorry, mate. Let's just repeat what science is. If I make an observation, take measurements, and then ask you to repeat it, and you repeat it and get the same results, that's a scientific observation.
It's not. It's an observation.
It's a scientific method.
There's nothing scientific about it. It's observation.
Sorry, mate. If you take the temperature of water before and after something, that's a scientific experiment.
It's an observation. You've not proven how that's happened or why it's worked or why it's not worked.
We've proven
You've not actually proven anything. You've proven that this was like this before. What
have you proven? Have you made an observation? Have you checked the temperature of water after being in moonlight? You haven't. You're assuming. So you're assuming that this isn't science without even.
I've shot my finger in the bath before getting in and be like, oh, that's too hot for me to get in.
Yeah.
That's an observation. Okay.
Yeah.
What does it prove? Nothing.
It proves that the water's hot.
Too hot for what I consider to be too hot. It's an observation.
Yeah.
It's not. It's flawed by
from repetition. From your repetition of testing heat temperature.
Okay, so that's where it's a bit more important.
And
you check comes in and does.
So it is a scientific experiment.
It's still just an observation.
It could be
more. You've not proved why that's happened. Yes or no? Why does moonlight cool water then, in your opinion?
In my opinion,
why does it cool?
In my opinion, it's a negative polarity.
It's a negative polarity. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. But like. What is your evidence other than the fact that water gets colder?
Well, atoms have got protons and electrons, so why wouldn't our atmosphere...
Who proved that? Was that science?
Why wouldn't... Am I denying science or am I promoting science? You're the one that's making assumptions.
You're saying all these scientists have been doing it wrong and like doing it for mind control.
They haven't been doing it.
You rely on everything scientific to try and back yourself up here.
What is your argument with me? I'm promoting that you do the science.
I have no argument with you.
I'm recommending science. I'm recommending science. You're accusing me of being a science denier. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that you're
asking other people. You're assuming my evidence is flawed without checking.
I am assuming
without checking. Without checking. Without checking.
But you're using some indoctrination.
I'm asking you to check.
Achieve some other agenda.
I'm asking you to check.
Science should not be guided by agenda, but you are using an agenda to guide your scientific observations.
I think you're using reverse psychology on me because everything I'm saying everything I'm accusing them of doing, you're accusing me of doing. I'm asking you to check. I'm telling you that they're promoting agendas for 100 million a day that could help end world hunger, which we agree on.
Oh, there's so many things.
So why are we arguing about that? So they're promoting on a Ponzi scheme. They're promoting that they should get all that money. They're promoting that we should trust all these technologies without question.
All these scientists are in it together.
What scientists?
Well, you keep saying that they come up with all these things.
I'm talking about NASA, the media, the mainstream media, and NASA.
Do you think it was just NASA that proved that the Earth was round?
When have they proved it? By showing us an image and a video.
No, I'm not saying
that's secondary information. You told me you were about science. You're telling me that NASA have proved it.
No, but like, okay,
you're telling me this isn't science, but you're going to believe NASA.
That NASA's claiming they've proved it, okay?
I'm telling you that NASA admit. Let me finish something. I'm telling you that NASA admit. You just keep interrupting me.
That's because you're not letting me speak.
You've asked a question and you won't even let me get to the answer.
Okay.
You're accusing me of not believing in NASA. NASA admit that they're composite images. Look on their website, please. Look on their website. It's a waste of. If you don't check for yourself, you're just making assumptions. We're asking. Thank you. We're asking people to check for themselves instead of making assumptions and being, with this attitude that we're wrong. Make the observation before making assumptions. It's very easy. You check at water level, and you should lose landscape below curvature, but you don't. Mathematics says that you should, after 20 kilometers, there should be a big loss of landscape. Islands or mountains along the coast, there isn't.
Does it say science is not correct?
We're doing science. We're telling you don't believe scientists because that's religion. We're asking you to do the science. Believe your science. Personal observation, not secondary information from a television. There is no loss of landscape below curvature, no matter the distance. Right? Stars come into focus and they all record beautiful quality, high resolution, no distortion. They're not 20 trillion miles away. The Big Bang's a load of bullshit. The moon chills water. Leave 2 glasses of water in your garden, one in the shade, one in the moonlight. You'll see that that one drops in temperature even more with a magnifying glass. We're being lied to. That's science.
So what's correct?
Science is about...
Science is not correct.
Science... No, you keep accusing me of being religious. I'm asking you to do the science. Science is about reducing the variables. Yeah. So if I know that this is false and this is false, I know I'm closer to the truth. That's all I'm asking you to do. Disregard the false evidence.
That's much easy?
It's so easy to see that there's no curvature at water level.
It's too easy. That's much easy. It's in my body.
Well, you are an atom, a big atom, yeah? You're the nucleus, and you have an electromagnetic field. You have chakras, positive and negative energies, yeah? They're not rocks, are they? Yeah, they tell you that Mars and Jupiter are rocks. They're the chakras of our big atom. Atmosphere. The sun and the moon is the yin and the yang, the proton and electron.
Science is not correct.
Science is where we repeat experiments.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking you to do. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that, mate. You check for yourself. Don't keep believing that shit. Thank you. So yeah, we're saying check for yourself.
So
that is science.
You say that.
Science is repetition.
Money. Science is
Science is observation.
Science is not correct, and for money
you keep saying that. I never said that. I'm telling you, science, space exploration is not true. Science is observation, measurement, repetition. That's science. Believing in NASA is religious.
I got you right.
Believing in NASA is religious because you can't check. I'm telling you how to check that they are lying, so that you don't believe in. I believe that you are here and I am here. What universe? Look at stars and planets. You'll see the universe isn't true.
Isn't true?
We're in an atom. We're in an atmosphere. All we can see is stars are very close.
Earth is circle or
no? Because if it was I don't know. I just know that there isn't 8 inches per mile squared or 20 centimeters of curvature per 1.6 kilometer in distance squared. There should be, but there isn't. check the math, and then make the observation, and then ask someone to repeat. And then you will know if I'm right or wrong. That's science. Make a video of stars, watch the video in slow motion, and you will see they're not 20 trillion miles away. We're being lied to. And check the temperature of water.
Why do they lie to us?
For globalization, for globalization, that means to control the world. How do you control the world? Globalization is achieved through globe syndrome. You think you're lost in space and that everything's material, so they know how to tempt you, and they also tell you there's no need to travel. Yeah. So you think you're free, but really you're a slave. You don't travel because you think that you need their rockets. Would you like one, sir?
How could you achieve this evidence? Are these evidence?
This is evidence that we're being lied to.
So how? How could you?
This is evidence that we're being lied to.
Are you sure these are correct?
Yes, because I've checked for myself, and I'm asking you to check for yourself. And if I'm wrong, prove it. That's science. If I'm wrong, you should be able to find evidence to prove me wrong.
Million evidences of.
No, there's photos and images of NASA.com, and NASA.com admit that their images are composite images. They tell you that they're not photos. NASA admit that they're not real photos. Yes, sir.
That's a bit of a funny one. Where did you get this thing from?
From Amazon, amazon.co.uk, about £14. It's called a Lazy Boy or something. It's just a hand-free mobile phone holder, something like that, or selfie phone holder. There's a few different words. There's loads of companies and they're all cheap. You check for yourself, my friend. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's awesome. It's really, really practical.
So much stuff, and I could just do with it.
Yeah. Let me put your flyer in there somewhere. You can check it later. We're just telling people to check for themselves rather than believe scientists, because that's where science is becoming a religion. When you check a few things for yourself, you'll see where we're being lied to. I'll just drop it in here, yeah? Cheers, buddy. Can I give you a flyer? We're showing people how to check for themselves. We're being lied to for 100 million a day. 40 billion a year of our worldwide taxes goes to Hollywood to show us videos from outer space. They ain't real, mate. You can check for yourself. When you see Earth spinning, you won't see the clouds moving. It's Hollywood, it's Disney. When you watch the weather report on the news, you never see Great Britain in real time. You always see Disney. They're lying to us, mate. And you'll see with a thermometer that moonlight chills water within 30 minutes. You'll never lose any landscape behind curvature, no matter the distance at water level. And you make a video of stars and you'll see they're not that far away when you watch the video in slow motion. Thanks, bro. Nice. Perfect. Nice one, Dave.
Is it okay if I ask you 3 quick questions for my YouTube channel?
I don't know if we're allowed to do that, unfortunately. It just depends what it is.
Well, one of them is, like, theoretically, and if you have it, great. If not, then just theoretically, if we were taking a plane flight from, say, Madrid, Spain, to Toronto, Canada, and we were to fly over the North Pole, and it was, say, about a 10 to 12 hour duration, would you not land back into the same place? Supposing the Earth's spinning in 24 hours of complete rotation, would you not land in the same place if a 12-hour flight over the North Pole started in the same direction?
That's a good question. I'm not sure we're allowed to do videos, unfortunately. Go onto the internet. That's an interesting question, though.
And also, the second question is, if you were flying eastbound from Europe to United States, and it was roughly a 12-hour flight, is it not strange that it's also a 12-hour flight from the States back to Europe? Considering that Earth's supposedly spinning at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, and that planes are supposedly flying from 500 to 700 miles per hour, would we ever land back in Europe if we can't go as fast as the Earth? I know that you can't answer these questions, that's why I'm making a video to show people that we should be able to ask in a scientific method approach to things instead of just assuming that everything's right. No one's been able to answer these questions, because if we're supposedly moving with the atmosphere, how come steam, smoke and helium rise and defy gravity? My last question is, and again you might not be able to answer this one, supposedly to maintain level altitude, you have to use your thrusters and incline the nose a little bit to fly upwards every now and then. Is that kind of right?
Yeah, that's about right.
So if on a 12-hour flight you're supposedly landing on the other side of a ball, am I right in saying that you don't have to dip the nose every now and then to follow the curvature of the Earth?
They're all complicated questions. They're interesting.
I know.
They are interesting.
Because if gravity was pulling downwards, it would pull you down, but it wouldn't guide your nose down. So technically you should have to dip your nose every now and then to follow the 8 inches per mile squared curvature that's quoted mathematically for a ball of 25,000 miles in circumference. But no pilot has ever told me or anyone else that they do dip the nose of the plane to follow the curve down. So the question is, if you're flying level from where you took off, wouldn't you fly out into space?
So yeah, I can see where you're going there. What the airplane does is it flies level constant to the surface.
Supposedly, but if you're not dipping the nose, then how can we be following the curve? Because autopilot would maybe correct things, but gravity isn't autopilot. It wouldn't be so finely tuned. If you're having to thrust and lift the nose a little bit up to maintain an altitude, then surely you're not following a curve if you haven't got to dip the nose. Do you see where I'm going?
I kind of do.
Great. Oh, I think that's us. Thanks, guys.
We can have a chat at the end if you like.
If possible, I'll come back at the end just to give you an hour or two to think about it as well. I can blur your faces as well if that's better.
Can't really have videos of ourselves going onto the internet.
If I blur your face so that no one knows your name or anything, would that be allowed? Also, okay. Well, this is the thing. I'm not sure if the Earth's flat or fourth dimensional, but there's no curvature at water level. I offered €10,000 and no one could find a photo of landscape hidden behind curvature. Not from 20 miles to 100 miles, yet there's supposed to be noticeable loss due to curvature, but there isn't. And no matter how high you guys fly or how high Red Bull goes, the horizon's always eye level.
Sorry, can I just...
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
भानु कमले कुल को बनिहारा नमा बिरजन जरी जरी तुम्हारी चाहता उतारी रोदाऊ करी उपाय बरी बारी महीना तो मन मलिन मोमी जनिपो ताउर तरल कुबाई रामा बिहारी चतुर कबीर राम महतारी निज पाई निज बात सवारे.
Any system that is in conflict with the even distribution of the resources to the people is a disingenuous and illusory system.
I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right. I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right. Corruption of the conscious minds, leaving us blind, seeking acceptance through symbol and signs. Inject the hate to regulate my third eye. I kick back, meditate. Puppets breed hate. I'm here to expose the fakes, cold-blooded snakes. Technology advances with rapid growth, distancing the mind from the body and the soul. Industrial revolution, flooding the earth with pollution. So what's the solution? I feed the lung with the smoke as I bun. Little kids run from the Zionist guns. Yeah, it's exorcism and magic. Catalyst the scenes that's tragic, all in the name of capital. This is all factual. They say Christ was white, but not according to the Israelites. So who do we believe in? Sometimes I ask, are we a mask of the true self? They're using our subconscious minds to feed the wealth to the institution. My name's written in caps lock, I'm disillusioned. A currency for higher movements. A currency for higher movements. I relate to them conscious minds. Most want money, all I want is time. Find myself in music, get lost in rhymes. Nobody can tell me what's wrong from right.
In terms of conspiracy theory content generally, our goal is to promote authoritative content to our users. So we have two principles that guide the way here. That's the first one, is we want to provide users with authoritative, trustworthy information.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I only have a minute and a half, and I don't really need to hear what you're trying to provide. I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
Such as searching for the Earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.